Oh, oh, hi, I didn't see you there, chat. Welcome to Granblue Radio, number 283, which I like to call the Warriors Championship Edition, given that they won the championship some 20 minutes ago as we record this episode. This is Vibrating Sheep, along with a non
Someone who doesn't
basketball fan.
watch basketball.
Yeah. Like, the closest thing you watch to sports is anime golf,
I
and
watch
that's
Kuroko.
and anime basketball. So the thing about, like, this is a slight tangent here. This is a big tangent here, but Kuroko's basketball, I would say that it's very unrealistic basketball. But given that Midorima is the closest thing you can get to Steph Curry, like he is closer to being Steph Curry than a lot of other people in the NBA are.
Hey, you can shoot from anywhere.
The court is his range, right? Whew. Anyway, so what's your proper introduction?
I am DJ.
Well, there you go. That's what we're gonna get out of you. Um, so it's a relatively short episode today because a big part of the exciting stuff happens in 6 hours. But we still have stuff to talk about, and um, this is also a good time to take a quick break because Extra Fest is next week. And you know what Extra Fest brings with it, DJ?
Goodies.
Some of the wildest and most like crazy merchandise this side of like a life-size Ryza. I'm trying to think of something on that like level of insanity.
I mean,
Um,
there's life size I am.
that's true. Any let's eliminate the life-size figures for a second because GBF just plain doesn't do those. Like I'm trying to think. Like Fate Go has the Ozymandias shirt. That's the main thing I remember about FGO.
That shirt is so bad.
Graphic design is my passion, DJ.
Also,
Because
yeah, you didn't change it. It's a stream title.
I didn't change the stream
It's
title.
still trial mode on trial.
All right. This is Granblue Radio number 283, which is called Schrodinger's take. Is it hot or is it cold? So, I guess I just didn't hit save. But anyway, where was I? We were talking about just crazy merchandise, and yeah, I mean, a lot of the other crazy stuff is usually figure based or something like that. Oh, wait, no. I know why. It's because we're not into that many Otome franchises, DJ. The Otome franchises have some pretty wild stuff for
That is
their
fair. That
merchandise.
is also true.
Like, when you get into... Remember that Hypnosis Mic has, like, entire large speaker systems that you can buy for yourself, and they're all
Yeah, they're the
branded.
characters.
Yeah, they're branded and they represent the characters, and so it's stuff like that. It's stuff like that we live for, and we look for, and we go, man, that's weird. I also kind of want it. Anyway,
Exactly.
let's get into what actually has just happened. So, um, here we go. We have a couple things. Number one, Diaspora. It happened. Um,
And it's not just the event.
yeah, like there's the rerun. We talked about the stuff last year. Usually for a rerun, we don't really talk about it unless they change something, and they haven't. They've just given people a bunch of stuff for logging in and hitting all of the story. All how many chapters is the story again? It's like six. Is it 12? Is it? It
I
was a
hit the skip
long one.
button. I read this last year.
Yeah, completed chapters. They have
It was like 4 chapters for 3 parts.
two, four, three, three. So that's 13. Then there's the incoming dispatch, the ending. So 14, including the ending. Then two incoming dispatches for the end, and then the parting shot. And so it's basically like 16 chapters.
It's a lot.
Yeah. So anyway, but we have the big baddie of the story, like the not necessarily the actual villain, just the
I
big
think it was trying
imminent
to stop
threat.
us from coming back.
Yeah,
You know,
the thing that's trying to eat the actual world. Diaspora. So, uh, this is supposed to be a bit harder than Lucilius, and in my opinion, it kind of is.
it
We'll
really
talk
is
about that in a
because I
second.
can't solo this.
Yeah. There's a lot going on in this fight, and we'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about the weapon that they added with it, though, because um, when I posted about this thing yesterday morning when this fight came out, and we just clicked on the I don't have one. We clicked on the drop list, and we're just like, okay, so this is what it does, and then thankfully we can also go into field notes and just click on this grayed out one because I don't have one yet. So here's
Oh,
Schroeder.
I literally looked up each and every skill, like the references before.
Yeah, thank you for that, by the way, because I was falling asleep. Like I did this as I was falling asleep, like I said. So I just like looked everything up, passed out, woke up, and was like, okay, what did I miss? And so, step one. Here's Blade's Wrath.
First instance you saw this is Yukata and Aramaya.
And at the time, we were just like, where does this go? Because it's 2% attack per, so it's like voltage 0 basically, because it's half as effective as voltage in terms of attack.
But it stacks with voltage,
Right.
so
So it's 1% HP and 1% multi attack for each katana. And
and I still have no idea where this goes, to be honest.
so, yeah, the thing about Blade's Wrath, a lot of people, when they read the skills, they sort of latch on to one thing, right? And so people are like, man, Blade's Wrath just looks bad because what are the other katanas that you have in water? And let's consider the actually reasonable things to be talking about. So here's Dayspring. This is Lucio. I was about to say Lucius.
He's doing a summer character.
One, he's a summer character. Two, look at this thing. It's Enmity and Verity.
No.
It's like, all right, well, we're not really doing this one. So here's the thing, though. Like, big enmity isn't necessarily a bad thing if
You
you're
need
in
HP to
certain.
supplement that, though.
But you need to have like bloodshed, right? You need to have bloodshed and the HP to do that. This is the thing, Schrodinger. You scroll down, supplement water ally CA damage based on how high your HP is. So as you turn on Dayspring, this thing turns off.
Yeah, that's not fun.
And it's not like it's going to be like Enmity Stamina where the two downward curves like cross over at a point that is relatively acceptable and it's relatively smooth as you
It's
lose
not
hit
gonna be
points.
smooth.
It's
It's not
not.
gonna be a smooth journey.
It's not a smooth journey at all. And so you
It's
look
not
at
a
other.
curve. It's a straight. It's a straight arrow.
Yeah, and so it's like, what else do you have? You have the freaking Kimetsu no Yaiba Nichirin sword, and I mean it's not awful. It's EX attack and katana HP. Yeah, let's keep going.
Hey, it's 15% HP. Yeah. Anyways,
Where's UL's katana? Water UL. Oh,
easy
here's
anyway.
Kaneshige. Here's Kaneshige, which is actually the katana you'll be using 90% of the time. Here it is, Izuyoi. This is Water UL. And it's like small boost to CA damage and you get attack. Okay, but this
That's
isn't.
all right, I guess.
It's not something that you stack. Like the most realistic thing is that you will have one Kaneshige, you will have your Ultima Katana, and you will have this. So in an ideal case, and I feel free to eat to like make me eat my words when like water gets an equivalent of an Ichigo Hitofuri, where it's like, oh yeah, here's a new Grand Katana, go, right? But pending that, like the ideal case in any water grid right now is that you have like what, two of these or so.
The best case is two. You can run three technically. I don't suggest it because
Right.
you run off of
You hit the quenching cap unless you're at low health.
lower health. Yeah. Yeah, but then you hit the ascendancy cap. If you hit any more than this, there's something wrong with you, to be honest, because
Because you're not
you're
going to
you're at
hit
that
this
point.
cap.
It's 6% each katana for your deck, and that's still not a good payoff.
Well, to be fair, there's a hidden thing about this one, and we'll talk about that in a second. But like the most likely case is you have what, two of these because that's the Columba number, that's the pain and suffering number, etc. And then you have that, and each of these gets 8% EX attack, and then 4% HP, and 4% multi rate. And it's like, sure, that's not really something that's worth a grid slot. But then you get to the bottom, right? That's the important part here. So you have quenching here, which you said goes from 100k to 600k, I think, depending on your
Correct.
current
It's
health.
the same. It's the same as the Militus harp. Is the same as what's Fediel's blade.
Right. And so this thing, considering that it has 600k, immediately replaces Columba's if you are at full health. This is a very important if, because Columba does a whole lot more because when you're at low health, because Columba is a flat 400k, as I recall.
It is, and you know what? There's a good bow grid you could use too
Yeah,
if
you
you're
have a
lowering your health.
yeah you have a grit. You have the Dark Thrashers and you have Tai bows, and you have what, like 6 bows in that grid, so they're 24% EX attack each. They that's from the voltage, voltage 1. And the Dark Thrashers are something that you're going to be using because they're garrison and you're playing a hard mode stuff. And
Yep,
in hard mode stuff, this is going to lose a lot of its value because
because you're gonna lose a lot of
you're
HP.
gonna you're gonna get the crap beaten out of you.
There's no ifs and or buts in all these fights. You are gonna be lower HP than normal.
hmm And then once again, like if you stack 3 of these, then it's going to be harder to hit that special CA cap. Um, so 2 is a pretty reasonable number unless you're doing like EX plus 1 touch kills.
And even then, you still want two is still the ideal.
Yeah, but like the immediate question that we got from people who are pretty experienced with the end game is like, does this immediately replace Columba? And it's like, not yet,
Not
because
really, yeah.
like let's say that you're soloing Belial as water. You do a lot of blocking and a lot of taking just incidental damage over time, and when that's happening, you kind of don't want to be taking a lot of chip damage and just losing your quenching supplemental over time.
Yeah.
So, it's like in a lot of solo grids you have like Atlantis and you have, double Dark Thrashers. You have 3 garrison skills, you have an enmity, like you're planning on taking a beating because you're just giving yourself a health cushion so that the defense has time to actually matter.
Yeah, that's what also what I did for the not Belial, which one? Lucilius solo
hmm
was I stacked myself with HP and a garrison.
Yeah, and then so the thing is that like this is very good. This is very good. The special CA cap you said exists on, I think, is it only Wilness Axe right now? No, it's not Wilness Axe. It's the pop gun.
Pop gun.
It's the pop gun. So it's the other piece of the fire CA grid.
But this one's not on a limited character.
Right. And so this is what, 10% to the CA cap?
Yep, stacks up to 30.
And so you go from 6.6 million to I'm not sure what, but I mean, this part is really good for like medium level content, right? Where you're bringing out your Kaneshige, you're playing like the 8-chain team and or whatever, and you're just like mashing out CAs. And I mean, Atum's never gonna understand just how hard he's been hit. Like you're gonna smash into that fool for like 15 million or something. It's gonna be wild, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the thing. There's more. So at 4-star, did you see what the CA is?
The CA is sharp boosted attack for 1 turn.
Yes, that's pretty good. In hard content, not quite as good. The sharp boost to attack is harder to take advantage of when you're like harder. It's not hard to take advantage of, but it depends on what you're planning for. Also, it's a katana. You're not main handing this. Let's be very real.
I mean, the only reason I can see the main hand is the 1 turn
hmm
because that's the only thing you use it for. Yeah.
Right.
Well, for as a main hand.
hmm And then the other thing is, it has Awakening, and the numbers on its Awakening are actually better than any at Awakening. So did you see those numbers? I posted them in our channel, but I don't
I
know.
did not see it.
Okay, so attack Awakening for this thing is 500 attack, flat, which is the same as others, I believe. But it goes up to 35% attack on the Awakening, which is 10% higher than um, the Ennead stuff.
Oh yeah, I see the number now.
Yeah. Um, it. So when we talked about like ideal case scenario, it's giving you like 8%. It's actually not. It's giving you 43%, right? 43% attack. Um, the
Yo, I'm looking at defense right now. That's
the
sick.
defense one is so silly.
All right, so yeah, normal awakening is 10% defense, 25% HP, and 100 HP. For this weapon, it's 15% defense and 55% HP.
55% HP. If you want to live, like this is Ophelia levels, and you know, remember how I said I'm never gonna make fun of Ophelia again?
Yeah, now here's his older cousin.
Yeah. Admittedly, this works worse than Ophelia in many ways because um, this is an HP weapon. It would you be an HP weapon that loses effectiveness as you lose health? So it's like, I it, there's
But you have
other
so much
weapons.
HP.
Yeah, you could have so much HP, or you could bring
You can hit the
Ophelia.
HP cap.
Yeah. You know what else lets you hit the HP cap? Ophelia. Here she is.
Yeah, that requires me having Ophelia.
I mean, that's fair. Um, and then the last one, DJ.
All right, so originally the normal numbers is 5% CA damage cap, 3% damage cap, 50 HP, and 200 attack. Those last two don't change, but
Right.
CA damage cap is now 7%, and damage cap is 5%.
It's 7. Oh, I must have missed one of them in there. So there's 2. There's 5. Yep, that's 7%. I missed the 3% in the level 9 when I was writing that up. So I mostly will foresee people using attack awakening on
Attack,
this. Some people will use special for certain situations so that they can, just
hit the cap
crank up,
harder.
yeah, crank up that cap.
I could see a use for defense. The problem is weapon awakenings. When you reset all the way.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So more likely people will use attack.
Okay. So anyway, I mean, as the primary water player, like me and like Melissa are the people who I know who invest the most in water. Um, I'm getting to. Like it's gonna happen. I'm going to just smash into Diaspora until they don't let me anymore. Um, and so speaking of smashing into Diaspora, I did hit my first failure today. Um, we did not get enough Robin Hoods who were competent into the raid. So
You mean not the one that from like 30 minutes ago?
yeah, the one that Arm hosted. So yours was good, but the design of the fight is interesting. So once again, this is the post Keelan world, right? This is designed in such a way where they looked at it and went, we cannot let them have 4 Keelans because it will just make these things.
Oh, if I have 4 Keelans, this thing would be super dead.
Yeah, if we had 4 Keelans, it would be super dead because here's the omens that it has. So first we'll talk about the omens, then we'll talk about the setup. So the first omen is 11 debuffs. If you bring Robin Hood, then you already can take care of that. There's a star right there. Like some of the stars of this fight are Satyr. How many debuffs does Kukuru pack?
She technically only has 2 from skill 1. The thing is that every time she normal attacks or CAs, when skill 1's active, for 3 turns, is another 2
So
because it'll
she's
auto activate.
so if you are saving it, then she's 4. Um, someone like um, let's see, Sora's is only 3 of them because he hits defense down stacking 3 times. Um, a
You can get FECAs though. That's another one.
mhm. If you're packing like Mahira, she's 4 of them. Satyr is 2. Uh, Mandrake, Summer Mandrake at 4 stars is I think 6.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
anyway,
actually,
like,
the added note of that Kukuru thing is that skill 3, if she has at least 2 bullets, will be auto refreshed.
mhm.
Actually, in this fight, you never want that thing on cooldown because otherwise you have a 6 turn lockout of using that button again.
Oh, that's not good. But yeah, like,
Yeah, so you actually just use it until you know that you don't have the right amount of bullets left, and
Right.
then you
So
stop using it.
so the very existence of an 11 debuff omen um, means that like people are starting to plan their summons a lot more interestingly. Like you see a lot of mandrakes being summoned in this fight. You, if people make it to like turn 9, then you see Thor getting summoned because Thor is 5 of them, and also someone else can catch Thor to take care of those 5. And so it's like okay, um, there's 37 hits. To get to 37 hits for me, I need to have Sora's ready. Like I have to save Sora's buttons for this. Um,
Guguru cheats this one as well.
Right. I don't have her, so we were using Sora's in mine. Some people using Summer Madara for both debuff and for hit count.
That one's a little bit hard because some of her debuffs don't hit,
Hmm.
and it's only 5 maximum.
Yeah, I've seen people bringing Christmas Sariel. Christmas Sariel is a summon that exists again. Yeah, like, but these are all things that you plan for, and you don't just answer them by saying I hit Keelan. Oh, just hit Keelan. Like you can hit Keelan to answer one of these, right?
Yep, and also to note is that this is the same omen, so you have to roll also dice on which if you get the set 37 hits or the 11 debuffs.
Yeah. Um, and then after that, like, there's a couple of straight up damage ones, 24 million ish, 30 million ish. Those ones are actually quite hard because of the other setup mechanic of this fight, which is that Diaspora checks on which damage type you're doing the most of, and I think it's what 300 million or so of one type, or is it 30 million? I forget. Once you hit a certain damage threshold,
300 million.
it's 300 million. Okay, so if you hit 300 million of a single damage type, then Diaspora goes, learned it. That's what you're trying to kill me with. I will um, try to cut that off. And then there are 3 different fields that go up, along with like severely cutting that type of damage. Um, and right now, the current theory of this fight, like the simplest way to do it, is to have at least one person who does as much CA damage as possible at the very beginning of the fight, and then just salutes, gives the thumbs up, and just sort of like melts into the lava like Terminator. Because in the second half of that raid, they are not doing anything because CAs will do something like 10% normal damage, 5%
It's
normal
really
damage.
low. It's
It's
really low.
it's bad. It's real bad.
I only hit that by the way just so Kukuru could get her stacks back.
Right, and it's just like if you don't have a skill team and you have that 24 million damage omen, then you're not hitting it. You're just never going to break that. And you're like, well, goodbye everybody. It's been a pleasure, right? Like unless you just shoot out incredible amounts of skill damage in that turn, which once again, like you got to choose your battles in this. And so that's an interesting design, and also it's got to be really interesting to see how the first solo of this works, because it also has ramping attack down and defense down based on how many turns that you've taken, and ramping dot based on how many turns you've taken.
That dot is so annoying.
Yeah, yeah. Like it is the number one killer of my characters. It's that and the nuclear explosion. Um, so some people were complaining that it's not that hard. It's like it's hard enough. I think. I think.
Oh, did you know that this aggregate also, if you have a non-Earth ally in the back line, they just die?
Wait, really?
Yeah, according to the wiki, the join trigger is they'll die if they're not Earth.
Yeah, that makes sense. So this is the fun thing, is that it also just plain attacks you at the beginning of the fight. So if you're the first person in, then you get slapped in the face by an undebuffed boss. If you join after the boss has been debuffed, you're like, what happened? There's no problems here. I took 10,000. This is the easiest thing ever. And everyone else just stares at you. It's like, yeah, thanks. Thanks for getting here late, buddy.
Let's see here. Disaggregating. It says it happens to all allies. I think it only happens to the front line though.
The damage, I think, only happens to your front line. It might be the case that it just plain kills whoever's in back. I haven't checked on that because
Well,
I...
disaggregated. The one I'm talking about is the join trigger.
Okay, the join trigger, got it, not the host trigger. But yeah, um, I am very interested in the way that this fight works because it's like in the middle of it also there's a trigger that you're not racing against damage necessarily. You're racing against the turn counter and you're racing to get to 97 hits as quickly as possible. And I understand that Kukuru is great at that. like um I've got to do it with like Threo, who's waiting to die. She's waiting to die to the dot so that Lobelia can come in, and then Lobelia and Sorius start doing their thing for me at the moment.
Yeah, everybody has to do the repair system on their own.
Yeah, 97 hits, and while you're not taking damage from the boss itself, you're taking damage from the dot that is continuing to ramp up and making things harder for your life. And then you're also going up against the fact that every turn that you take while it's in repair state is healing it for a whole lot, and you're not doing that much damage.
It's 10,000,000, 10,101.
Yeah, that's because it is one of the closest prime numbers to 10 million. Every
Yep,
single
and
number.
also,
Yeah,
you have a damage cap too.
yeah,
So
yeah. It's not fun. It's not fun. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I think I like how this fight is designed. Like, you know, our sample size is small, but it's like, let's see here. Most of the current theory of this fight is someone come in to CA it as hard as you can, then let all of the people with Herculeses come in and save your bacon.
yeah, so things to note about that about this fight also is you cannot gravity
You
and
cannot slow.
you cannot slow. So if you do that strats, you're getting omen every turn.
Yeah, it really hurts. There's a lot of blocking, and I'm taking 10,000 wind damage.
Oh yeah, second half, all the CAs are wind now.
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, that's still the least of the evils, because have you seen what the field is like for when skills are the 300 million?
It reflect everything, yeah.
Yeah! Have you
HP
tried
restored every turn, reflects everything, damage from skills cut.
have you seen what happens when you attack with that in as a Kukuru player?
She probably dies.
Yeah, she just falls over. It's not fun. I haven't seen what the normal attack version of this is.
It's
When
TA rate is up, damage
ugh,
is supplemented, and you cannot guard.
ugh,
Well, you can
ugh,
guard. You just take the normal damage.
ugh. So basically, we people have crystallized around. All right, look, the least of these evils is face an omen every turn. Take damage every time that omen is not broken, I believe, because I think you take extra white damage when a special attack is taken.
You take 10k plain damage, I
Yeah.
believe.
Plus a
Let me
little bit to
check.
make it a prime number, because they're really doing the like mathematical thing where like everything is a prime number: 11, 37, 97, 10, 10, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1.
Yeah, I'll check next time I do this because I've been refreshing.
Yeah, it's pain. And like we were straddling, like Kawahara tweeted about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, we've got this in the bag." And then later he's like, "We don't have this in the bag. I messed up and I lost." So it's like it's not on utter farm. It can still fail. And so, uh,
Uh, Also we did talk about the 30% and 10% trigger nuclear option.
I mentioned it in passing, saying that is the number one killer, active killer of my characters in this fight.
So it does the wind damage. That's fine. It also does 10k plain damage for each debuff on your allies.
Hmm. And your debuffs can't be removed in this fight, and its
Correct.
debuffs can't miss. So Remember
Break
how we
opens.
break omens, and also remember how when we first looked at Fire Satyr, we were like, I wonder when this will be good.
Earth Satyr, go!
Well, here's the thing, like, if the wind version of this series has the same kind of thing, Fire Satyr will be back on the menu because she also has the reduce your debuff length thing, doesn't she? And then I think it's
She
Sylph,
does, but she does. I don't think she has the autocast.
right? And then I think Sylph has the reduce. Does she? No, she doesn't. She has debuff resistance, is what it is, and debuff.
Yes, she doesn't have
Okay,
autocast of Innocent Heart. She just removes. Oh no, she does.
okay, good. So,
It's just that it's harder for her to keep stacks. There's a difference.
oh yeah, that's right. But
Since she
anyway,
gets stacks from her seeing, Earth's version gets stacks from everybody seeing.
yeah, Satyr's a freaking all-star in this fight. Like, one of the most constant things that I've seen on anybody's team is Satyr, because you need her healing. You need her healing every freaking time. Having the two debuffs from her reactive trigger, having a dispel, because whenever Diaspora put up buffs, Diaspora puts it up in like threes, and you need to have her passive dispel. You need to have her active dispel. Like, if you can afford a slot for it, you'll hit a summon dispel. Like, even if you have Beelzebub takes care of exactly one trigger.
Oh man, I remember the buffs now. One of them's double strike.
Yeah, that one's mean.
One of them's counter on damage.
That one's extra mean.
Bonus earth damage, which is mean on if you have the double strike.
Mm-hmm.
These are, by the way, between 3 and 6 turns.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Mirror image. If you're not prepared for that, you are pretty much sitting and blocking for a little bit.
yep.
Debuff resistance. Usually that actually means like 100% debuff resistance.
Yup.
Yeah. Oh yeah, TA up. I imagine that with double strike.
Yeah.
Also,
So,
also don't forget that if you have the gamma resistance, that if it has gamma resistance, then it's pretty much seeing every turn.
yeah. So people are like, oh man, this fight's so easy. All you need is wild Robin Hoods from Twitter with Herculeses. It's like, yeah, that's real easy, everybody. That's
I mean, the one that we that I hosted fast because the 325 Robin Hoods. So
yeah, and then the one that we failed with Arm, like Arm is a Hercules Robin Hood. However, two of us were Kengos, and so like my
yeah, I was
MC
second
was,
place. So
yeah. I managed to do respectably. I did like 2 million honors or so, but still, like my main character ceased to be a character after we both ramped the CA gauge up to 100. All
yeah,
right.
I was at 460 on that one.
Anything else you want to talk about with Diaspora?
Uh, Learn to fight. It's fun.
It is fun. I like this fight. And the thing is, because of V2, there are no well, there are surprises, but the surprises explain themselves. Where it's like, why did I die? Click on Omen. This is wind damage. When did that happen?
The thing to note is that this is not very easy to host compared to like Lucilius though.
Yeah, it needs abyssal tragedies. So Whamdises are going to be packed again for the near future.
Yep.
Me, a foolish person who just slams his face into all the dragons endlessly. I have 270 abyssal tragedies. I found that
I
out. It's
only
like,
have 130, so
yeah. So anyway,
and it costs 3, so
cool.
I can't wait to half off.
Yeah. Um, I don't think we covered the Unite and Fight changes that were coming up in Choreograph. Did we talk about this?
No.
All right. We'll very quickly touch on this because we delayed it when Choreograph came out and it was a big Choreograph. All right. So here's what's happening next week when Unite and Fight comes around. Number one, before we even get into the new Nightmare, the Nightmare schedule is changing. We will have during prelims, we'll have Nightmare 90. After prelims are over, as has been the case before, we'll get Nightmare 95 on day 1. On day 2, they give us Nightmare 100. And with Nightmare 100 means we get Nightmare 150 on that same day. So honors are going to go way up, it feels like. Then,
I feel like that's every time.
So the thing is, during prelims are unchanged. I don't think this is going to change that much. It's on days 2 and on that things will be higher. And then on day 3, depending on the number of Nightmare 150s that you and your crew have done, you get Nightmare 200 now, an even harder version. And so
I
they
have to farm a
said
lot of meat.
that's a lot of. Well, it might not be a lot of meat, right? Like maybe it depends so much on what Nightmare 200 looks like, because Nightmare 150 for the meat, like it slows down your meat consumption so much because it's what 4 million. Wait, so Nightmare 90 is like 250k. Nightmare 95 is 1 million. Nightmare 100 is 2.5 million, and I think, yeah, this one's 4 million, and it slows your meat consumption just because you just, well, for us it does, admittedly. For us, because we full auto this, then it slows our meat consumption because we're just like 8 minutes for 20 meat. Yeah, okay. Um, so there's so much in the air about how Nightmare 200 will work, how long it'll take us, how much meat it will consume, what that means for like meat and rate of meat consumption. And they've admitted they don't know. Like this is one of those things where they're like, we're making a change, and while we can try and model and predict what the players will do, we've just got to watch what happens. So it's like we intend to assess the player data from this run in order to make adjustments in the number of honors earned from bosses, how honors loot works, and ranking loot.
I mean, there's only so much you can actually go through with simulations, so you actually have to put it in practice.
Yeah. And, there's even when we have, like, models in place where it's like, oh, yeah, based on previous stuff, it's like, there's so many variables that get in the way. It's like, oh, it was a Saturday. Oh, it was a national holiday. It's a three-day weekend, Or it's like, there's all of these things that could or could not change. We know it's not changing. The HP of EX Plus. It's staying where it is right now, 22 million.
Ooh.
They're like, we could move it higher, but we're not going to. We think that the bar is exactly high enough, essentially. Like right now, with characters like I think Alea and Yukon and Armea and people like that, then you can do a 2-chain and still win. Right now, there's an Earth 2-chain that is like main character with Skypiercer for guaranteed triple attack, Pengi for guaranteed triple attack, and then I think it's like 8 and Monica for and then yeah. Anyway, the point is that it's very, very high requirements. And they're like, that's to get 22 million. Changing the requirements to 23 million changes too much. And they're like, we're gonna hold off on that one. We're not gonna change that one. And then here's beginner's loot missions. They're adding 50 crystals to it. Beat the eyeball. Hit the eyeball, everybody. It's worth it.
And we have a reason to do it now.
Yeah. And then the last thing about it is that they are moving the goalposts not on EX Plus, but in order to reduce the number of raids that open, the very hard boss, the former dog, will now be demoted to a single battle named hard. The old hard will be the old very hard. So very hard is going to be renamed hard, and the old hard is just going to be gone. So
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that changes very little other than just like beginner's mission stuff. Anyway, so that's the changes coming to Unite and Fight. We'll probably talk about it when they decide what to do with all the data they have, how much Nightmare 200 changes things. Alright, so that's it for the game. There's exciting news coming for the game in about 5 hours, but that's 5 hours from now. In the meantime, there's really exciting stuff outside of the game, because we're having live events again for the first time in 2+ years, 3 years basically. And you want to just check out what we got? Let's check out what we got. 1 second.
Yeah. You've seen how much stuff I bought from them.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go to Extra.
You see my receipt at Normal Fest.
Oh, I mean, I've told you about how like the blood haze covered my vision, and I woke up and I had like 30 freaking Divine Generals charms. So here's Extra Fest merchandise, and we've done a bunch of threads on Granblue EN about what these are, and I've always included some like just goofy like marketing text or whatever, but I just want to talk about the ones that are really fun. So we'll go back and forth. I asked you before this to sort of create a list of like the ones that that you liked the most.
And the answer is I didn't create a list.
Fine, that's fine. You can just talk. We can just talk about them.
Socks, though.
Hey, look, I'm old. Socks are exciting.
Hey, I have the what was it? It's not the Eternals. Which socks was there?
I have Pengy socks. That's different.
Arcarum socks.
All right, so here's the ones that I'm going to start with. I'm going to start with the plush line. Like number one, have you seen the slime squish?
Yes, I have.
It's so cute. Look at it. Look at it. It's so cute.
So you can be a Jean de Slack.
Yeah. The carbuncles are cute too, but they're not my thing. However, Galleon though.
Standing up Galleon.
This is the goofiest possible pose they could leave it in because Galleon's just mouth is gaping open. It's like Slack John Galleon is so good.
That's the thing that's gonna throw an island at you.
It's gonna throw a very plush island at us, or like just a fat chicken OER. Like look at this little chicken feet. Oh my god. Like, and then Eldritch Horror Fediel over here, with the lower half of Fediel looking, and Melissa backed me up on this, like a Kirby boss. I don't know if you reached your conclusion on that count yet.
I mean, I only play Crystal Shard, so
all right, that's
the
fair.
answer is not in my Kirby games.
All right. So that was where I started. Like it was a big umbrella there. Like what did you see that you were just like, oh man, this is so good?
Well, I already said the socks. The Grudge Chunk socks.
So it's a set of 3. So it's not just the Grudge Chunk socks. They're up here. Let me just page up some more.
There's a Golvar one that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's Grudge Chunk socks, Vern socks, and Gold Brick socks. And here's them in the wild being worn by people, kicking up your feet with a Vern, showing off your Gold Brick bling on your ankle socks.
I mean that's just me. Another month in Wings of Terror.
Yeah, I guess so. We basically average one a month when we just host diligently. Oh.
I do always love the face towels.
Oh yeah, this towel. This one's good. I like it. It's got like there's 3 gremlins on here. You got Lao Lao and Bai and Huang, and you can't trust any single one of them. Let's see. The next one that I wanted to highlight are the 2-sided keychains, because we've seen a lot of these, like the double-sided acrylics, where it's one piece of art on one side and then the other side is that way. Like here's the Albert one. Here's the Urius one. You know, both sides of the Urius one, he's just smug as hell. So it's like he's not. Why'd you even bother having 2 illustrations? The Albert one, he's like pouty and sleepy. The Cagliostro one though is like one of my favorites because it's cute and it's murder, and that's the 2-sided thing is just perfect for Cag. She's great. And then the Clarice one is also very Clarice, where it's like, I'm a genius. Oh no, I'm a genius. Oh no, I should have thought this through. Too bad my brain is incredibly smooth.
I also like the Joy desk light.
The Joy Desk Light is super good. I'm just gonna
I
search
don't
it
know
up.
when I use it compared to my normal desk lights.
There you are. There you are, Silicon Joy Desk Light. Look at this. It, our beautiful bell child just wants to light up your night. And admittedly, I have not found an actual use for the Lyria booklight yet, but
Oh, I still have that.
it's neat. I like it. I have it. It's on my desk. Oh wait, you can't see what I just did because I turned off the webcam on this one. Hold on, let me see if I can get this up here. There we go. So now you can actually see the Lyria booklight as I turn my camera back on. um, other things, well, I mean, I'm a sucker for any Vicky merchandise here, so
So I can get the airs.
those things travel so badly, I can't do it. I just can't. Like, these
You said
things
you're a
will get
sucker for
destroyed in
Vicky.
shipping. I am a sucker for Vicky, and also, I wrote this on the account too, but shout outs to the model for nailing the existential horror of being Vikala.
It do
Um,
be like that.
it do be like that. Um, the dog tags are pretty cool, but the other things that I wanted to highlight, the Cassius hair clip. Look at how happy he is. The Moon Man just gets to eat. It's so good.
I like this the small plate set. I like how it's Sarah,
Boo! Sarah Sarasa.
Dario, and Shiro Karte. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, because Sarah, and then the person who's laughing at the pun that she just made.
exactly.
Boo! Boo! Hey, Kane, I need a Tubsius plush. Oh man, we yeah yeah
I'll
we
probably get the fairy glass, to be honest.
yeah, the fairy one's nice. Um, but yeah, like these are the everyday useful ones. Um, the ones that start going a little far afield, like the Yggdrasil home herb growing kit, like you grow your own basil. Uh, by the way, I have a backyard. Basil grows in it like a weed. I cannot stop getting basil and mint, but I understand that Japanese condo or apartment living life, you don't have a backyard, and so these things are useful. Here's the Urius chamomile one. Um, we we at Granblue EN do not suggest that you try and get these out of Japan because you will run into the Department of Agriculture regulations.
Yep.
So don't don't do it. Yeah, grow basil
Things you
if you
also
want to
have.
grow only basil and nothing but basil. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Other things you will have a hard time getting out is also the mobile battery.
Yeah, the mobile battery you have to get out on your person on your own. It will not ship. You cannot ship that thing safely. Um, let's see, a few other things that I wanted to point out. This is one of the coolest and least useful pieces of GBF merchandise yet. It's like so, you know, fancy calligrapher, right? Like there's a fountain pen hobby that's very deep. People got the GBF fountain pens and actually are very happy with those. So that was cool. That was cool. And if you want to go to that extra level, so you write out your letter with your fountain pen, you do your calligraphy, and then you take this set, you take the nub of wax, you melt it, and you press it onto the envelope with any of the seals of let's see, this is the Grand Cipher, this is Vern, this one is the White Dragon Knights insignia, and this is the Kingdom of Levin insignia. which I had to get help on, by the way, because it's like, what is that? It turns out it's the Eye of Heaven and lightning bolts.
Ah.
But this is really cool. It's also 8,000 yen, and I would never use it more than once. And so it's like, I'm not getting this one. But
I spent more money on things I only use once.
have you? How often do you make grilled cheeses in the sandwich press?
Often. That's not the one I'm talking about.
What's the one you're talking about?
I cannot say this online.
Oh, never mind then. All right, we're good. Thank you for not getting me banned on Twitch. It would be very awkward for me to be banned from Twitch.
Yeah,
It would be
that
very
would be,
difficult to
wouldn't it?
explain. The Evoker pin set is pretty neat. There's like the Devil one. I just look at the Devil one. I really like that one. This is one of the few times, by the way, that the tower is also one of the coolest ones. So it's like the tower, the Devil, and Death, I think, are my picks for my favorites of the pins.
I mean, if you buy this, you get the whole entire set.
It's true, but in my case, I would probably give a bunch of them away. You do get the cork board that you want to hang them on, though, display them on. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff. I really hope they do an online shop for this again.
Would you get the Swiss card?
The actual licensed freaking Swiss Army like multi-tool
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
They had one of these for the camping one, and I'm looking at it again, going, I don't have that much use for a multi-tool, but if I did have one, would I want a GBF one? And the answer is maybe. It's a very solid maybe, DJ. The near shirt is funny to me because it's
She's peeking out. Don't worry
she's
about
just peeking out. This like that's more than a little distressing, which is what they're going for.
it. They knew the assignment.
Yeah. Here's just it's just literally like art of Eliar screen printed onto a shirt.
It's a cat.
It is a wide cat. Praise it.
Worship it.
Yeah. Forfeit all mortal possessions to it.
Exactly.
That
I'll probably get the Hong by shirt.
one's neat. I forget, did you spend any time in the GBF hotel? At the Prince Hotel?
I did.
That's right. Did you spend any time in the Mad Libs area?
I was in the area. I didn't actually do the Mad Libs for it.
I did that. That was fun. I miss doing that.
I know you
So
did. I
it's
saw.
like,
I still have your post.
oh, that's right. Yeah. So anyway, GBF has unfairly good merchandising sometimes. Here's your official GBF ETA bag. Please, Baby Vane is in jail for ETA crimes. Ah, man. But yeah, like let us in Japan, or at least Cygames, let us order these online. I hope that after Granblue Extra Fest is done, we can order some of these because
It's
there's
not
so
like they
many.
ever run out of pamphlets.
Yeah, and then for now, the Belial statue is an order it at Fest thing.
Yeah, made to order stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you order one and you will get one. You order two and you get two. You are allowed to get two of these things at 39,800 yen each. So just your $300 plus shipping. Easy. Something that you would get two of.
Comes with a chair.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, here's the second champagne glass that I think they've done. No, it was a wine glass for the previous one, right? For the Primarchs and the Fallen Angels.
I don't remember which type of glass it was. It was a glass, though.
Mm. But yeah, like the Vicky ears are one of those things where it's just like, man, they made sure that it's very far from attracting the attention of the mouse god. It was a wine glass, yeah, that makes sense. And then here's like just stuff from other fests that are coming back through. Stamp set, the watches, the Katura milk style bottle, which I have one of. I need to figure out what to do with it. Yeah,
I have no idea to do it either.
it's just very slightly too small for it to be useful to me.
And you can't drink milk.
I shouldn't drink milk. I'm not allergic to it. I just have problems with it. That's
And everyone
more.
else will have problems with it afterwards too.
Yes, it's much more of a problem for people around me than it is for me. Anyway, so that's Granblue Radio for the week. Diaspora, which is fun. I hope that there are similar designs to that coming, where it's like you have to make conscious choices, and it's not just 6 Robin Hoods or 6 Kengos or
It's
six
one
Paladins.
Kengo and 5 Robin Hoods.
There's other classes that I'm sure will eventually get used. Right now, it's just the best CA class and the best skill class. But it's like, I
The other
mean,
one you can use
Almond
is
does.
actually Viking, because Viking does multi-hits.
Yeah, that's right. And Almond has been experimenting with Masquerade because Masquerade also does multi hits and is one of the best auto classes. And so, if you want to do normal hits, maybe that's a viable strategy as well. I mean, that's what a lot of what you're doing with Kukuru is just banking on her doing a lot of skill and normal. It's like, hey, if CA is not working, then Kukuru's doing just fine.
Please do not do put the auto learning up. That sounds horrible. Not being able to block.
Dude,
This dude does wind damage after
dude,
that.
it's bad. It's all bad. All right. So anyway, that's it for this week. Um, so as mentioned, Granblue Radio is taking place about 5 hours before Flash Gala starts. So next week we'll be talking about what happened in Flash Gala. They also announced the date for Alethea 5-star, and that will be ready for next week. Um, we're doing something a little bit out of the ordinary for next week, where Thursday of next week we'll have radio as normal. Friday of next week we're having the one that we've talked about, the summer draft. Um, I've shown
Oh,
you
they got
hints
it.
of
I
the
thought it was
boards.
tomorrow.
No, it's next Friday.
I just knew it was a Friday.
Sorry, I need to. I'll be very specific. I was busy nailing down. Did you know how hard it is to get non-overlapping lists of 20 of each element, or not element, each weapon specialty?
You showed me the three that were the hardest.
Bow, dagger. No, it was bow, harp, and katana. Dagger was surprisingly hard because I had to cannibalize characters from other disciplines to become those, and then it's like I can't. This character can't be dagger anymore. It's like all right, it's bad. It's bad. Anyway,
We'll find out on Friday.
we'll find out next Friday. We'll be doing the draft then, and then in 2 weeks it's Anime Expo. God, God,
I'm gonna be
there
sitting in my
hasn't been an
room.
Anime Expo in 3 years. Last time we did this, there was a big turnout for the Granblue Fantasy gathering. We're holding another one because Cygames is there, so we might as well. And by we, I mean
I
Henry.
have a picture with Fukuhara. Technically,
Yeah,
I'm right next to him in that picture.
yeah. Oh boy. Anyway, so thanks for joining us this week. We'll see you next week, and we will have a lot more to talk about. We managed to talk a lot this week, actually. It was not a short episode.
Yeah, it became an hour.
Yeah, which is, a good length for these things. Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. We will talk to you next week. We'll talk to you next week twice.
Yeah. All right, later, folks.
You Warriors are good. Real good. The best.